me to welcome you into our second chapter of us learning the story of Joseph. As we have seen to our first chapter, Joseph taken to Egypt, sold by his brothers. I've read chapter 37, Genesis chapter 37, and Genesis chapter 38. So we are going to read Genesis chapter 39. We are learning about the story of Joseph, the son of Jacob, not Joseph, the father of Christ. So let's dive in and see what the Bible is talking about the story of Joseph. Or let us know more about Joseph, the son of Israel or of Jacob. We are going to begin from Genesis chapter 39, and we're going to read also 2 chapters, Genesis chapter 39 and Genesis chapter 40. We're going to stop on Genesis chapter 50, that's where the story of Joseph ends. So, Bible says, we are going to read NIV. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was of Pharaoh's official, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Shamarites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. What we learn from the second verse, the Lord was him. That means the Lord cannot leave you. Even though you are in the situation, you see that when his brothers threw him into the cistern, the Lord was him. He called on them. He brought the Shamarites who bought him, and he gave them the thoughts that, and they said, let us not kill our brother, but let us just sell him to the Shamarites, and they give us money, and even we don't shed the blood. So when he was taken to the Egyptians, and they sold him to Potiphar's house, he was a Pharaoh's official. The Lord was him. Let us go to the verse 3. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charges of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on him, was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So when you deal with a person who has favor, or who is favorful by the Lord, everything he caught, Potiphar was blessed in the house and in the field where he used it to work from. He had favor. Verse 6. Genesis chapter 39, verse 6. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care, and Joseph in charge. He did not concern his life with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome. Meaning well built, maybe he had 6 packs. Because when they say well built, they fight for our lives. The life. Maybe Joseph had 6 packs and he had big hand, and even he was handsome, as we have seen the verse 6 where it ends. Now Joseph was well built and handsome. After a while, his master's wife took a notice of Joseph and said, come to bed with me. So because he was well built, maybe he had 6 packs, and he had a very big hand, he had a kanyama, and The wife of Potiphar told him, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted me to care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld anything from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such wicked thing and sin against the Lord?" He meant that his master entrusted him with everything in the house except the wife. Then he concluded by saying, "How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against the Lord?" His master wasn't there. That means he could do, but in front of the Lord. So we should not sin in front of the Lord. Try as you can, as such that you do not sin in front of the eyes of the Lord. And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her and even be with her. That means it didn't stop there every day. The Bible told us day after day. That means today the woman forced him to go with her in bed, and he refused. Even the next day, day after day, took some time. One day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servant was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, cloak means that it may be a coat or a jacket or a shirt he was wearing. "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak or coat to her hand and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called the household servant. "Look," she said to them, "then this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him this story. That Hebrew slave he brought us came to me and make sport of me. But as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house. When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. Whenever Joseph was, the Lord was with him. Even when he was at Potiphar's house, God put favor inside his eyes to the people of in front of Potiphar, that even when he was in prison, God gave him favor inside or in eyes of the prison warden. God gave him favor where he went. Even that is the same what God can do to us. God can give you favor in everything you do. Even though you see that you are failing, God can give you favor in front of that circumstance. God can give you favor in front of the eyes of your boss. So, the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible of all that was done there. The last verse, the warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Let us go to the next verse, Genesis chapter 40. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offered their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, but put them in the custody in the house of the captain of the guard in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king, who were being held in prison, had a dream at the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials, who were in the custody with him in his master's house, "Why do you look so sad today?" When both had dreams, they answered, "Because there is no one to interpret them." Then Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God. Tell me your dreams. He meant that all the interpretation of dreams were meant to God. We both had dreams, they answered, but there is no one to interpret them. Then Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God? It's a question. Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams. So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream. He said to him, in my dream I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine was 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in the hand, and took the grapes squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup and put the cup in his hand. This is what it means. Joseph said to him, the 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. I was possibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon. When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph, I too had a dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of bakers' good for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head. This is what it means. Joseph said, the 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head and impale your body on the pole, and the birds will eat away your flesh. Now the 3rd day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the chief cupbaker in the presence of his officials. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, so that he once again put the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he impaired the chief baker just as Joseph. He said to them in his interpretation, the chief cupbearer, whoever did not remember Joseph, he forgot him. That means that all the dreams that he told them, they came true. So let us meet in our 3rd part. Thank you.